Okay, we're live. Hey, everybody. David Hammond here along with Scott and Charles, and we welcome you to Game Show Talking Fun. It's our
Woo!
21st episode. Tonight's episode, Room for Improvement. If you could change one thing on a show, what would it be? First, let me shoot it over to Scott. Scott, say hi to everybody.
Hello. I just spend my time.
wanted me to watch the show.
I don't mind.
And I spoke about the show. And I just
And let me send it over to Charles. Charles, say hi to everybody for us, bud.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? This is the Big C, Charles Furman, here once again on Game Show Talking Fun with my good friends Scott and David.
Okay. All right, then, guys, let's get this party started. Let's play a little Smash or Trash, shall we? And first item up on the agenda, Big Money Week on The Price is Right. Scott, this year's Big Money Week, Smash or Trash?
At least that's one thing that's always been consistent throughout the season. So, always good to see the more expensive prizes for the show. I'll give it a smash. I'll smash it. I mean, it's consistent. You get to see more luxurious prizes, and that's what Price has always been about, the prizes.
Okay.
I agree with you on that, Scott. I agree with you on that. I say smash on it as well. Get to see a lot of cool prizes that you don't get to see during the original regular part of the season. But one thing I really like during Big Money Week are those really, really expensive cars like the Mercedes Benz and all that stuff.
That's during Dream Car Week.
Oh, my bad. And also the big money on the wheel as well. Instead of 10,000 is 25, 50, and then I'm going to hit the green sections. How much is that during big money?
I
think on the main one it's 100,000 on the big one. I might have to Google that later though.
I'll have to look that up. I'm not really sure. Okay. Now, expanding on that, this year during Big Money Week, Pay the Rent gave away $200,000. Scott?
Holy cow!
Yeah, it happened. It actually happened. Scott?
Is that one of the few times that the top prize has actually been hit on that game?
Yes, it's one of 4 times. I think it's only happened 4 times, and that was the 4th.
Wow.
Now, winning
basically
the rent is no easy feat. So, Scott, let's expand on that. Is $100,000 for the grand prize on Pay the Rent, is it smash or trash? Considering how hard the game is to win.
It depends on how long that game, where in the rotation of how long they play it per season.
They play it maybe 2 or 3 times per season.
So it's up there with like Golden Road, where they play it like once or twice per season.
Yeah, Golden Road and 3 strikes. I play 3 strikes 3 or 4 times per season.
Right, but that game's always had a limited run anyhow. But that's one of my favorite games, 3 strikes. For where it is in the rotation, yeah, it seems about right. I mean, it is a hard game to win. They're not going to, they're not just going to fork over the 100,000 that easily.
No, I thought it was going to.
I agree with you. I
give away the 2.
I agree with you on that one. Another hard game for me on Price is Right. That we barely see anybody win is That's Too Much.
That game is just downright impossible with the way Mike Richards sets it up. But that's another subject for another time.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. Pay the Rent has a lot of money, and you could as long as you play it right, you get to win a lot of money.
Right, and our dear late friend Alan Mitsugi actually had a strategy on how to win that game every time.
Like, what do you have to do?
Well, Dave, want to enlighten about it, or?
We'll save it for another
Um,
time. Let's
Yeah.
Yes.
save
Save
it
for another podcast.
save that for another time. All right then. Now something that just was brought to our attention literally just minutes before we went to air. Wheel of Fortune adding more 4-digit wedges to the prize wheel.
What?
Yeah. Scott, smashed or trashed?
Ooh, about time they updated the amount of money on the wheel. Smash. As long as that show's been going, as long as they can keep the gameplay simple, up the cash values for it. I'm not sure if this is going to affect the house minimum of the 1,000, but no, it's about time.
I thought the house
I agree.
minimum, in my opinion,
I agree with.
I think the house minimum should be 2,000, not 1,000.
Or at least five. Or at least 5,000.
I think
Higher.
I think 5,000 is going to be the max, including when you add the extra 1,000 for the final spin. So 6,000 total for that.
Okay.
Holy cow! Now I need to update my wheel configuration for my game on my computer when it happens. Because I think the higher amounts on the wheel, whoa, mind blowing, all the way, smash.
Now, here's the thing. For those that don't know, there is a Wheel of Fortune game out there that allows you to design your own wheel configuration. We're talking about things that you would never see on the actual show.
Yeah. The Big John version. Well, even when the announcer on there.
We'll talk another subject for another time. We'll save that for another time.
Okay, cool.
All right, then. And now the last subject. Between our last podcast and now, we had our first real tiebreaker in Jeopardy history. The co-champions rule has been abolished. Now there can only be one winner. Scott, is this good or bad for the show?
Yeah. I mean, both players tied. I mean, back in the day, both players tied. They get to come back for the next game and everything. I mean, your champion that won on the last game, if they tied with somebody else, that would still be considered part of their winning. And then, the other player coming back, that'd be their day one winning as well. So, cash on that. I mean, Jeopardy should have never got rid of the co-champion rule.
I agree.
Okay. Hey, Charles, you
trash. 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 I think they should have kept the co-champion rule, and plus, I really want to see still the co-champion rule because I can't believe they trashed that. It's just not feasible. You got to have one person win Jeopardy. Are you serious? I mean, don't get me wrong.
The tiebreaker is one thing I don't like. I mean, I know it has to exist in tournament games.
Right, but so it should stay. It should stay in tournament only, not in the game.
Right, but I don't think we need it during the regular season. So no, it's trash.
Use it during the tournaments like the teachers tournament and all that stuff.
Well, it was already a rule during tournament games.
Right, I think that's one thing that Alex came up with. One of the current rules when Alex made the tournament, came up with the rules for the tournament.
Yes, it was.
So for that I say for the dropping the co-champion rule. I don't like it at all. Bad, trash, delete.
Maybe this is trying to save money.
Pretty much. That's how pretty much Sony is nowadays.
Another subject for another time. Well, gentlemen, the main subject for tonight, room for improvement. And it appears that we've already And our first discussion about one thing we would improve is that we would get rid of the code. We would get rid of the tiebreaker in normal Jeopardy games. Now, room for improvement. It's not just shows that we personally like. It would be shows in general. So, Scott, I'm going to shoot. How we're going to do this is I'm going to shoot some of the more popular shows out there, and you tell me one thing you would improve on the show.
Okay.
All right then. Pyramid. Let's start with Pyramid. Scott, what would you do? One thing, just one.
Ooh, Pyramid. Nothing. I would change nothing from Pyramid. But if we're going by the current one, the one hosted by
Michael Strahan. I should say that. The one hosted by Michael Strahan.
From the modern era, right?
All right.
Yeah.
For that, I would bring back the classic tiebreaker rules.
Okay. In other words, one side has to describe 7 words that start with one letter, the other side has to do it faster.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
With the condition of a 21-21 tie.
Okay, then let's expand on that. What would you set the bonus for a 21-21 tie on the Michael Strahan version?
10,000.
For $50,000 each time in the winner's circle.
10,000.
You set it at 10,000.
Because on the original one with Clark, it was a 5,000. If I'm correct, it was a $5,000 bonus for 21-21 tie. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Charles?
just up it for the 10,000 for a 21-21 tie.
Okay, Charles. Do you agree? Or is there something you would do?
Something I disagree. I like what Scott's saying, but for the winner's circle, I'd keep the first one for the first round. I give for $25,000 in the first winner's circle, and in the second winner's circle, $50,000.
So you want to bring back the tournament format for the 100,000?
Bring back the tournament format.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Okay.
Nothing beats a good old fashioned nothing beats a good old $100,000 pyramid tournament that they did during the final run.
Now, here's something that CBS was playing around with. Is it time for Pyramid to become the $1 million pyramid? Scott.
Ooh. If we did it as a $1 million tournament, we would have to do that in stages. Kind of like how the Sierra video game of the computer game it was. We have to do that. Either something that would or it is a tournament format where the 3 fastest times at 50,000 go to play for the 100. Then the 3 fastest times at the 100,000 go to play for the million in the season finale. At the end of the season.
Now, Charles, do you agree, or is there a different tournament format?
I highly agree with that, because do it like the classic format.
But that's how I based it off of, with a tournament with the ladder being more of like millionaire and everything. And
I would throw in an extra trophy as well. I call it the Dick Clark Memorial Tournament.
Well, more. I would, and you get a trophy with it at the end too. So it'd be called, like how we have in football the Lombardi Trophy, or in hockey how we have the
Stanley Cup.
Name the trophy after Dick Clark.
I would name it after
Exactly.
Dick Clark, and I would make it in the well. No, you kind of make it in the form of a pyramid
No,
because
you make it in the form of, like how at the top where it had all those different spikes and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
You do it like that. You make the top part. You make the top part of it like that, the top of the pyramid, with the base actually being the pyramid itself.
That works.
Huh?
Don't matter to me.
Okay.
So, baby.
Now,
Don't matter to me. The cuddle.
Excuse me.
Scott,
Yes.
back to you. Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
Change one thing. What would you change?
Thing about, I would bring back the returning champion rule.
You bring back the returning champions.
Bring back
That's a good one.
Like this, I don't like this one and you're done.
Now, let's expand on that.
Unfortunately,
Charles, you, and then we'll expand on this.
bring back the returning. Yeah, bring back the returning champ rule.
Okay.
Plus add a little incentive as well.
Now, Scott,
Yes.
let's expand on that a little bit. I agree, bring back the returning champ. But would you agree that if somebody won the 100,000 or won the million on Wheel of Fortune, that's it, you retire?
Yes. If I may elaborate, kind of like what I'm doing with my anime play series of Extra Luck. I have a set standard where if a certain contestant wins over X amount of dollars on their very first game, they are done, and 3 new people come in on the next game.
Okay. So if you win X amount of dollars during one episode, that's it.
Yes. So if you hit the 100,000 or you hit the million, that's it. You are done.
I think we can agree with that.
Yep.
And it's an automatic placement into the Tournament of Champions.
Oh, now that's something we should. Now that's where I come in this. I think Wheel of Fortune should have a Tournament of Champions.
Didn't they have?
I don't think they ever did one before.
They never did a real Tournament of Champions. They did a Friday playoff for a few years.
All right.
Salad, baby, or no? No, thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the contestants to draw numbers before the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Until
now
the
it's who answers the opening toss-up gets the first spin. Well, who
Right.
answers the second
I mean,
toss-up?
toss-up. Yeah, I like the toss-up idea. It's with the current board and everything. Yeah, it's a lot faster to do the toss-ups and everything. Toss-ups. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the toss-up idea was all right. The toss-up idea was cool.
You drop
But
the toss-up.
I would not drop the toss-up because it would actually make the game run a lot faster. It actually be more fun to watch.
Then, me personally, I think the toss-ups, they should go. But that's me.
Maybe just have that one toss-up puzzle be worth 25.
Please get us some waters.
We could change. Now, for this next show, there's a lot of things that we could change, a lot of things that we couldn't. Scott, Price is Right. One thing right now. What would you improve?
Pricing game.
It broke up there, Scott. Try that again.
Will you allow me to bring back a retired pricing game?
I'll allow you to do that.
Super Bowl.
I want to say the last one.
Okay.
I said the lunch game.
We'll elaborate on that here in a second. Charles, Price is Right.
Well,
Charles,
yeah.
Price is Right. One thing.
One thing I could change about Price is Right. I would bring back one of the throwback pricing games, like like a rare pricing game week. I want to see a rare pricing game week
Now, to bring back Decade Week.
or decade week.
But I don't know if they've ever done that before.
Hey, like I say, bring back
No,
a retro price.
They've done Decade Week.
Not
They've
really
done
hit the
Decade
nail
Week.
on the head. I wanted it.
I think they did it a couple years back, but I don't remember what year they did it.
I can look that up right now.
Scott,
Yes.
now, seeing that you picked Super Bowl, a pricing game to bring back to the show, what would you do with it?
I would do the exact. I wouldn't change anything from it. I would still have the big reveal of the prizes using the Match Game Hollywood Squares music. Or if I'm wrong on the music cue, then that's fine. But for it, bring back the big reveal of all three prizes and everything. But
Or use music, or use Starcross music.
no, I'd keep the music the same, which was Match Game Hollywood Squares for it. The other thing is, I would up the money for it. Instead of it, I think the original was 50 and 100.
Yep.
I would up it to 250, 500, and still have the win. But I would make it more like how you see the skee ball machines in like Dave and Buster's and everything, where you would have those two side 100. You know how you have those two side pockets sometimes?
Yeah.
If you landed in those, it's $1,000 each. Super Bowl. Now, Dave, correct me on this. If you got the Super Bowl into a cash slot, what did that do? Did it? I forgot what the
Triple the amount that you landed in.
I would have it multiply it by 10. So if you get into 250, it now becomes 2,500. Get in the 500, it now becomes a $5,000. If you get it in the win, it's an automatic, just like what it used to do in the original game. Get the Super Bowl into the win circle, you win all three prizes plus a cash bonus of $10,000.
Now, that's where I was about to go with this. What if someone played a perfect game?
We've only seen that once, remember?
Right. But in the off chance it was to happen, what would you do?
In the off chance of a perfect Super Bowl game, the Super Bowl in the win circle, $25,000.
Wait, I can do one better. 50. I can go 50,000.
You got to leave the 50. You got to leave at least the 50,000 for the wheel or something. You got to leave that for the wheel.
Yeah, leave that for the wheel. With the exception of
Plinko.
Yeah, with the exception of Plinko and Pay the Rent, no all cash game on the show gets higher than 20,000 or 25,000, except during
Right. 25, I think, is for the punch board, right?
Yeah, 25 for the punch board, or 10,000 for grand game. The rest of them have either a $10,000 or a $20,000.
Plinko's 50,000, isn't it, baby?
Plinko is the
$50,000. Potential
exception.
A potential 50,000. Never happened. Doubt it ever does.
No, and I don't think it will happen because you win on. You're going to win. You're bound to win something on Plinko.
But there were quite a few times that you didn't win anything on Plinko.
True.
That happens.
It's just the nature of the board.
Mm.
And
Okay.
the reason I would bring back Super Bowl, you gotta have some more skill-based games on the show.
Okay.
The only
Let me,
only skill game they got so far is Hole in One or two.
Now during Dream Car Week, they add that windmill to the game to really up the stakes.
Cool.
But we'll talk about that another time.
Right. Price is Right would have to be its own
Yeah,
own podcast.
yeah. Let's make a deal. Got
Modern era or classic era?
modern. We're talking
Okay.
the Wayne Brady era.
Okay.
Just about been on the air for 10 years.
One thing I liked about the all new Let's Make a Deal, bring back the infamous door number 4.
Okay, he says bring back door number 4. Charles, what would you-
Door number 4, and get rid of some of those corny get rid of some of the corny music-based games. They are corny.
what I would
You're
do,
gonna have to clean school title.
what I would do with the Wayne Brady era is I would bring back the 2-player format of the big deal.
Right. No, I agree. I will totally 100% agree with you on that. But
What about
that's
the bankroll game? What about bankroll?
trying to save money?
Yeah.
Oh God.
But
What about the
considering the show's an hour long, I think one player,
Is a cost-saving measure.
yeah.
I got a big idea for that. If they were gonna move it to another hour, I know they have it for like an hour show, but bring back some of the classic games like One Deal You're Done and all that stuff.
Well, they do that.
Yeah.
And of course, bankroll. I always love bankroll.
Yeah.
I understand. Mike Richards is trying to move the show away from the Monty Hall and do his own thing. I don't know if you can blame him, but at the same time, I think you got to keep some of what Monty did in the show.
Right.
You agree?
He's probably watching down on the show too from up there in the great studio in the sky.
And like I said, that's another subject for another time. We could spend the entire hour talking about Let's Make a Deal.
Right, and we did do a podcast on Monty Hall. So if you guys want to go back and hear us talk about Monty Hall and everything, we did a great tribute podcast to him as well. So we have that up there as well.
Now, I'm going to pick a classic show here, and I'm going to pick a rather obscure one. This one. But it's one that I think everybody enjoyed because we enjoy quiz shows. Scott. The Challengers.
Seen on Lost Silver Productions. Quick plug.
Considering we actually do that, I would bring back the Ultimate Challenge. Because I know in the later run of the series they got rid of the Ultimate Challenge and everything.
Yeah, that was the cost saving measure that Michael Eisner insisted upon to keep the show even going.
You're sleeping,
I would bring back the fight. I would bring back the Ultimate Challenge and everything.
Okay.
But
And Charles, what would you have done to make the Challengers better? One thing.
I've only seen a handful of episodes, so I don't know that much about it.
Okay.
that's fine.
I would have kept the. I would have done. kind of a two-tiered bonus round. I would have did what I call the big challenge, which was a daily $10,000 question. And then the ultimate challenge for 3 wins. That's what I would have done.
I would reverse that. I would do the ultimate challenge first, the final challenge first, and then the winner of that episode of the ultimate challenge plays one question for the 10,000.
Okay.
If they don't get it, they still get to come back on the next episode and try again, but now make that a progressive. It starts off at 10,000 and increases $10,000 every day it's not won.
Okay, so you would make it a progressive jackpot.
Right. And I would use that to replace the the ultimate challenge and everything.
Okay. Sorry, I've got a hang.
Sorry. I got one.
Okay.
American Gladiators 1995 to 1996. I did not like the money format with the rounds with the split events. I did not like that. I think they should have just kept it the way it was.
We could spend an entire podcast talking about American Gladiators.
Right, that's actually a good topic too. I think most of us here have seen the show.
We could spend two. As a matter of fact, in our classic show, we did spend 2 episodes talking about American Gladiators.
Nice.
So if you want to see that, if you want to listen to that, go to blogtalkradio.com/GSTAF and search our archives for American Gladiators.
We have to find a way to transfer those over to the YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, which we will eventually be doing.
Right.
Because we did have some.
I got one. I have a classic show I can bring up.
Okay, go ahead.
High Rollers, Wake Martindale era.
One thing you would change about it. Go.
There's 2. So it's a 2-part process with this. 1, get rid of all the mini games because that slowed the game down. 2, borrowing this from the Trebek era, have it where if a column is not won, just tack on the next prize to the column.
Okay then.
My thing is, I got another one.
Just make the car a regular prize.
Yeah.
No, car would still be a 5. You still have to, instead of winning 5 games, 3 games to win the car.
3 games to win the car. Okay.
And
so
you win the
would
car.
Make the car a column prize. You would make it a prize for winning X amount of games.
Right. The car, you're done.
Win the car and you're done.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, here's mine. Tic-Tac-Toe 1990. Get rid of that Rapping Dragon and get rid of the Rapping Dragon Slayer. Ugh. That should just never been talked about.
No.
And the
spend an entire episode talking about Tic-Tac-Toe.
And the thing about Tic-Tac-Toe 90, it ended on my birthday.
Yikes. I lived on it forever in USA Reruns.
Yeah, I did, Mom. Thank you.
And on Game and Forever ripped apart by Cindy over at Game Show Garbage.
Yeah. By the way, Cindy, if you're watching, join us one night. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, seeing that you hit upon a Barbarian Enright show. Well, no, that was Charles that hit on the Barbarian Enright show.
Right.
Scott, what would you do with the Joker's Wild? And I mean the Jack Berry, Bill Cullen version, not the Pat Finn version.
Or the current one
Which-
that's on TV, or the Snoop Dogg version, right?
Right.
Oh, gee.
Talking the classic version.
Last,
Throwback era.
I would bring back the Joker's jackpot.
You would bring back the Joker's jackpot like it was at the beginning.
Right.
Charles, what would you do?
I agreed. Bring back the Joker's jackpot and whatever the devil steals from you, put in like a big bank like they did on Press Your Luck, 2002 version.
Well,
That's like
what
a big
Joker's
bank for.
jackpot was.
But it would only affect the bonus round winnings, not what you want in the main game.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now,
My brain's just racking right now.
Scott, I'll jump to you. I'll name a host. You pick a game and one thing you would change about a game they hosted.
Okay.
Bill Cullen.
Nothing. He's too perfect. I wouldn't change
I meant
anything.
pick a game he hosted,
Oh.
and what would you change about that game?
Child's Play,
What would you change?
the scoring system.
Okay, what would you change it to?
It's been a while since I've seen the scoring system for that. But make them
Round
play.
one, correct. Round one, correct words were worth 1 point. Round two, you buzzed in, and they were worth 2. High score played. Turnabout
Change,
for 5
change the point system to money. So correct answer is worth $100, $200, $300, so on.
Okay.
You got a point there.
Okay, then Charles, a Bill Cullen show. Which show would you pick? What would you change?
Blockbusters.
What would you change?
Make it a 3-player game, not a family pair versus a single player. That's like 2-on-1. Let's just make it 3 players, and that'll be done.
For what game?
He just
The entire
said
game
he would
itself.
change Blockbusters to a 3-player game, not a 2-side game.
Not 2-on-1.
Then the board wouldn't add up properly on that.
You'd have to change the board. He's right.
Yeah.
That's the subject. That's a subject we'll have to talk about some other time, because I know somebody that actually experimented with that. I actually know somebody that actually experimented with that, and I actually took part in that experiment.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now,
Well,
Scott,
Yes.
back to you. Pick a Bob Eubanks show.
no, it's brother.
Oh, God. Bob Eubank.
And
Trivia
don't
trap.
take the obvious one.
What? The Diamond Head game?
Let's try to pick a more popular one. Just don't pick the obvious one.
Trivia Trap.
Okay. What would you change?
The bonus game.
Okay. What would you do different?
Have them just as like in the main game. Have them work as a team to climb up that ladder to $10,000.
Okay. So you wouldn't put it against each other. They would play as a team just as long as one of them made it to the top and got the $10,000 ransom.
Right.
Okay. All right then, Charles. Bob Eubanks game.
Bob Eubanks Card Sharks.
What would you change?
I'd say for the exact amount of for the exact retail for the exact amount that they call it right on the for the card, not the card but the survey, and they get it right. Instead of just $500, make it $1,000.
That'd be the only thing you change. Okay.
Plus, add 3 jokers on there. More chance to win the car.
Okay.
Well, they did that in the first incarnation of the car round, which I liked. I didn't like the second incarnation of that because you're borrowing. When they brought that in, they took that aspect from mind readers.
That and the fact it was a cost-saving measure.
Right, but I like the first incarnation. You win the game. You got yourself a Joker. There were 3 more Jokers in the deck and everything, and you had a 4. If you picked all the Jokers, you had a 4 out of 7 chance of hitting the car. But when the car and you're done, like what they did on the Rafferty version, I think, right?
Yeah, it was the Rafferty version because the Rafferty version was syndicated when the car and you were done. But the Rafferty version also added prizes to the deck.
Right, which is what I would also bring into which would be another thing I would bring into the Eubanks version, the prizes.
You would have brought the prizes into the card deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little bit more incentive for the contestants to win, so they're not going home empty-handed if they lose a game. If they lose.
Okay. All right, then. Let me pick another host. Scott, Jeff Edwards. Pick a show. What would you change?
Jeff Edwards.
Yep, Jeff Edwards. Loyal friend. He was a loyal friend and true on this show.
True. I don't want to speak wrong, and he's up there. So probably, I would maybe say Starcade.
Okay, what would you?
Oh, you took my. Thanks, Scotty. Took mine.
I am not touching Chain Reaction because he did that show perfectly. That's the one show I refuse to change anything on Chain Reaction.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes, but with Starcade, if they won even if they didn't win the arcade game at the end of the show, have that same player come back and try to defend their title on the next show. So have like a returning champion.
You would have.
I agree with you.
Champions to Starcade. Okay. Charles. I'm sorry. Charles, I'll let you expand on Starcade, and then I'll let you pick your own.
Okay. Like you were saying, Scott, I agree with the champions rule. If they didn't win the arcade cabinet, they'd come back to the next episode and try for like the RB5X intelligible robot. It could be a small prize. Then if they win the entire thing at the end, they get the arcade cabinet.
Then they're retired.
Plus a gift certificate to their favorite arcade.
Ooh. Dave, what do you say on that?
I would change the scoring format.
How so?
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem with Starcade. A smart player could pick a game where, if you had a pretty decent lead, a smart player would pick a game where you couldn't score a lot of points, where your lead was pretty much all but protected. I don't like that.
So kind of like Burger Time and Donkey Kong.
Or Donkey Kong Jr. even.
For example, if I picked, let's say I picked Pac-Man at the beginning of the game. Okay. If I've got like a 6,000 or 7,000 point lead on you, and I'm the next one to play, like I'm gonna pick a game like Crystal Castles, where I know you can't score that much that fast.
Crystal Castles, the classic by Atari. Love it.
Or something, or maybe like Zookeeper, right?
Right. Something where I know you're not going to be able to score that many points in that amount of time.
or even Gyrus.
Oh, we could spend the entire hour talking about
Yeah.
Starcade.
Which we did one time though.
Yeah, we have. But we didn't really talk about strategy, but one night we will.
All right, I got a host,
Okay? I'll let you take this one. Go ahead.
Peter Tamarkin.
Oh, you got me.
Paranoia. I would pick Paranoia.
Okay. And what would you change about it?
Well, the bonus round I thought was great, but I would have made, all of them were 10 times, one of them was 100 times. I would have did most of them 10 times, one 100, one 1,000 times. So you could get that $1 million.
Nice.
Because it was supposed to be, one of those big jackpot games. So that's what I would have did. That's the only thing I really saw wrong with Paranoia. Was an excellent game, in my opinion.
I would pick Wipeout.
Okay, what would you
That was
pick?
a stinker.
What would you say, Dave?
What
that was
would you
me.
change
I said-
about
I would follow more of the United Kingdom format for the show with it.
which was what?
Instead of having one round one board, 3 round one boards, the player with the lowest score at the end of that gets eliminated and everything else still plays out the same.
Okay, makes sense to me.
And the hotspot can be on a Wipeout square too.
Okay, that's weird.
Now now there was 2 versions of it in the UK. So I'm borrowing this from the first version, not the one hosted by not the one hosted by Monkhouse
Okay.
and everything.
Wasn't the monk? Aren't they both on YouTube? That I can look them up on YouTube later on.
Both up on YouTube. Now in the first version where I'm borrowing this from is if the hotspot was on a Wipeout category, on a Wipeout answer, you want like a gag prize or something for it.
Okay.
But also hitting the Wipeout would not. If you had the hotspot, you won that prize instantly. You didn't have to survive to go to the next round to win it, to actually claim it.
Just
So
pick the
with
hotspot prize and it's yours.
right.
Got that. All right, then what would you do different? Charles, pick a Peter Tamarkin game.
Press your luck.
What would you do different?
Speed the board up a little faster and make it a little harder. Second round board, because
We're talking, second chance.
Second round. Not mean that fast. I mean just little faster than the first round. Make it a little more difficult.
Just
a little more difficult than the first round.
Spend the entire show. We could spend the entire show talking about these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the second. I'm not talking about the second chance thing. I'm talking about like speeding it up a little faster, but not crazy fast like it was on second chance.
I know, but like I said, we could spend it 2 or 3 episodes, not just one episode, 2 or 3, talking about Press Your Luck.
You're right.
All major fans of it. All right, I got another show here.
Okay. Go ahead.
Password.
Oh. Okay. Now, when you mention Password,
This is including every version of Password, excluding the one hosted by Regis. So everything hosted by Alan up until the end of Super Password.
Until Convy.
Password, password plus, super password. We're not including $1 million
Yes,
password.
and the Grandmaster tournament as well.
Then Scott, what would you do?
I would this would go along more of like for like a tournament of champions rule, and this would be borrowed from the Master tournament. Follow the Master tournament rules, where you still have your celebrities, but with the contestants, and they still play with and against each other. So I would just keep following the Master tournament rules on that.
Well, for the super password, I would have kept alphabetics for the final for the bonus game instead of cashword.
No, cashword was a separate.
The bonus round for super password.
Yeah, they just called it something different, I think, right?
They just called it super password.
Yeah.
Super password plus password plus. They just changed the name.
Right.
Basically like a graphic overhaul, like you see on most Nintendo, like you see on most Sony consoles.
Right. That's pretty much all super password was an overhaul of a password plus.
Right, but it followed the later when the later run of it, I guess, when Kennedy took over, I guess, right?
No. When Kennedy was hosting Password Plus, opposites were not allowed.
Right.
Yeah, what's up?
During the Alan Ludden days, opposites were allowed.
All right, this one's going off of the beaten track a little bit, and Jay Wolpert, however you pronounce his last name.
Okay. Now, this is one subject we could really talk about because not only did he do his own shows, he also worked for Mark Goodson.
Right.
So we have to say, do we include his Mark Goodson days or just shows he himself created?
Shows that when he moved on his own.
Okay.
I will go first.
All right.
And correct me if I'm wrong on. Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Woo.
Woo.
Was that done by him?
What would you do different?
I would get rid of the celebrities.
You just bring back the classic. You bring back the way it was at the beginning.
Right. Update the board, but in this case, not having that other player go off stage, having them right there. Everything would be like on a touch screen, like on an iPad or something, where they can just plug
I
in.
could see that in this day and age, especially in the day of poker. Look at that person in the eye and see what are they thinking.
And the other thing I would update, the Gauntlet of Villains.
Okay, the Gauntlet of Villains carried a $25,000 grand prize. What would you do today?
$50,000. But the way I would still score it the same way. You still get the 1 point, but 1 point for every $1,000 that you won in the main game. So the money is not credited to you like how it was in the actual show. Both players
won the money.
Both players still win money. Yes.
Okay. But only the winner will get to play the Gauntlet of Villains for the $50,000.
Right. And yes. And it's still a best 2 out of 3 match.
Okay.
But when it comes down to that tiebreaker, none of the players get to decide where the blockers go. That's all random. A computer will automatically do that for them.
Are you talking about the Crystal Maze, right?
No, I'm talking about Woo.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. I just had to take out the trash for a minute.
So when it goes to tiebreaker, the computer chooses where the blockers and the long shot will go on Rumble 6.
So the players are at the mercy of the board if a tiebreaker is needed.
Right. That way you keep it fair.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got one.
All right.
Jay Wolford.
Steve. A Jay Wolpert show. Not too much to know about those.
All right.
And we'll even include the Family Channel shows that he created.
Oh, you mean like that's my? You mean like that's my dog and all that stuff?
He didn't create That's My Dog. He created a lot of the after. He created Wait Till You Have Kids. Shopping Spree.
Shopping Spree. Ugh.
That bonus game made no sense to the show.
Stuck out like a sore thumb.
Right. Even the main game part made no sense at all.
But
I
then
think
again,
Shopping Spree. Don't even touch that with me. I hated that show.
Now,
we
did
could
he?
spend the entire hour talking about Jay Wolpert.
Yeah, that's how great this man would think outside of the box.
Yeah. Now, understand one thing. Jay Wolpert got thing that we talked about Jeopardy earlier. Did you know that Jay Wolpert was one of the first contestants to win the Tournament of Champions during the Art Fleming days?
No, I did not.
He is a Tournament of Champions winner.
Jay Wolpert on. Well, wait.
On the
Wow,
original
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
From the throwback
Jay
era.
Wolpert was a contestant on the original Jeopardy. One of the first 5-day champions. Was one of the first 5-day champions and one of the first to win the Tournament of Champions.
No. Now, question: Did he have anything to do with being a producer or on the staff of Price?
Yes, he was the producer of Price.
Was that before Roger took over?
Yeah, that was before. Roger took over. Actually, Roger was Jay's replacement.
Oh wow,
That's cool. I got a show. I got a host, Steve Harvey.
Okay. He's done for only 2 shows.
Feud.
Yeah.
Family Feud and Showtime at the Apollo.
Well,
Showtime
Showtime.
shows here. Showtime at the Apollo is a variety show.
Well, Family Feud. Get rid of all the secular questions.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah. Family Feud doesn't need them. You didn't need them in the 70s. You didn't need them in the 80s. You really didn't need them during the. You didn't need them during
90s.
Louis Anderson. You didn't need them during Richard Karn. You didn't need them during John O'Hurley. You don't need them now.
Exactly. The questions are too secular. Every time I hear something about something sexual in a show, I just turn it off.
And let this be known for the record. Leave the bullseye round dead and buried, please.
Exactly. The bullseye round.
Yeah, agreed. That was bad. That was a
bad. That was one of the worst rounds ever in Family Feud history. The bullseye round. It should just been done over. Get rid of it. Delete it.
Now, even when what's his name took back over to host Family Feud, he even said to get rid of that bullseye round because that wasn't Family Feud.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
When Steve Harvey took over, he said, "Get rid of it."
Right, and I think Dawson said the same exact thing too.
Yeah. But even Dawson had to deal with it for a little while.
I think that's what led to its demise, I bet, during the first era.
Right. When you see the bullseye round of the Family Feud, you know either that host is out the door or the show is out the door.
Exactly.
All right, then. We got a few minutes left. We are running into overtime here, but we will run into overtime to do this. Scott?
No, Dave, I thought we do. Dave, I thought we do to 9:30. We go to 9:30.
9:30. I thought we only went to 9. Okay.
No, we go to 9:30.
Okay, then we got
8:30, 8:30, or 8:30 my time actually.
Yeah.
Okay, then we got 30 minutes left. Okay.
Yes.
I thought we only
Um,
had an hour. Okay. Scott, then I'm going to pick another host.
Okay.
Wink Martindale. Now, you've already picked high rollers. So let's leave that out.
I got one.
Trivia Pursuit.
Trivial Pursuit.
Thanks,
what would
Scott.
you do different?
Get rid of that qualifying game.
Get rid of the qualifying game.
Oh, come on. I love the interactive portion of the show. Come on.
No, the show
but
can
it's
still be
got like a
interactive.
sore thumb. You don't need it.
Right. No, but the show can still the show can still be interactive. We saw that work perfectly on Trivia Pursuit America Plays, where the America team came up with the questions for the show. The interaction part we know works for the show. You can still have that. You can still have the interactive part with the game where maybe you're playing online against the people in the studio, kind of like how they do for Cash Show and Beat the Queue, where you're trying to win a amount of money that's paid out through PayPal and everything on the internet, where you're trying to play along with the show online, kind of like how GSN used to do interactive back in the day.
Oh, GSN Interactive. Oh, my God. Trivia Track. Super Decades.
Yeah, make the show interactive online or on an app where you're playing along with, where you have to watch the show to play along with it and everything.
And not include a fee to play every time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, then.
Kind
Charles?
of like
pick
that.
a quick one.
So yeah, I would get rid of that qualifying game. Leave the interactive part because that's becoming a lot popular now with quiz games and everything. And leave it like an app or something where you just download it to your phone or tablet and you play along with the show. You have to watch the show to play along with it.
Kind of like the web TV thing, which used with Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, I think.
Yeah,
Remember that.
In a sense like that.
Okay, then. Charles, pick a Wink Martindale show.
A Wink Martindale show. Tic-tac-toe.
What would you do different?
What would I do different about the tic-tac-toe round?
Yeah, what would you do?
For the center, for the person that got the center square right on the money, they would get a $500 in their pocket, right in their
you add
bank.
a cash bonus to the center square.
Yeah.
I would change that.
Okay.
I like the idea. I like the idea only because, we know that center square is a two-part question. It's a little difficult. I would go along the lines of split second, answer both parts. You got yourself a prize attached to that center square.
Okay.
About how much?
It would be like a small prize, like maybe a watch or, free movie tickets for a year or
a gift card to Amazon or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I could see.
Or even a gift subscription to Crunchyroll for the anime nerds.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Now, the next host I'm mentioning, you only got, no, because we've already mentioned one of his shows. Scott, I'm going to pick Jim Perry's Sale of the Century. Jim Perry's Sale of the Century. Because we've already talked about Card Sharks.
Yeah. The only thing I would change the bonus, the end game.
Okay. Now, we could spend a lot of time talking about this, but let's try to keep it brief. What would you change about the end game to Sale of the Century?
The way that the end game is done in the basic game format that we both have.
Okay.
So at the eight, you still have your prizes. So at the $80 level, you can win this all the way up to $750 for the bit to win the lot. 25
Okay.
numbers, all ranging from $5 all the way up to $250. I would reverse the way that they're spread out, so you have less of the 250 and more of the other amounts.
But
To make
still
it
make
more-
it possible that somebody could win the lot on the first day.
Right. But however, if you don't win it, that 50,000 now becomes $60,000.
You add 10,000 to it each time somebody doesn't win the lot.
Right. So just like in the premise of the show, you could win over $100,000 on
Cash and
Sale of the Century.
All right, then. Charles, what would you do different about Sale of the Century?
Get rid of the winner's big money game. I hated that round. Garbage.
Everybody chooses that.
Yes.
So if you had to change something else, what would you do?
The cash bonus, up the cash bonus for the for the big round. Instead of the 25, 50, and 100, and the money cards,
From the
fame game board, 10, 15, and 20, like 25, 30, up to $50 in money cards.
No, won't work.
No.
Won't work with the current scoring format. If somebody was to hit a $50 money card, it puts the game out of reach. It would take 20 questions to catch that kind of lead.
Should we call in what's her name? The one who turned down every instant bargain?
Forget who did that.
Oh God! Or do we need to call in Summer or do we need to call in Summer Bartholomew?
She was a model for the.
He's talking about Alice Cockbright. She got on the show with the only one thing in mind: to win the lot. And she knew that to win it, your best strategy was to just win the game and keep winning. Don't buy a single prize.
Right, and I like Gene's reaction to the last instant bargain. He just leaves the money there, walks off, he walks back and says, "Give me my money."
Is that episode on YouTube?
So upset that he couldn't sell her an instant bargain. He just left the money there and walked off before the commercial break.
MAD, mad.
Okay. Scott,
Yes.
now I'm going to pick a genre of a game show, and you pick a game in that genre and change something.
Okay.
A word game.
GSN's Lingo.
GSN's Lingo. Which version? The Chuck Woolery or the Bill?
There's only one version I acknowledge, and that's the one hosted by the man who hosted Scrabble.
Okay. What would you change?
I would make two things. There's two I would do to that. One,
Okay.
have returning champions.
Okay.
Two, that jackpot for pulling it on the very first ball. You don't pull it, we add 10,000. We add 5,000 to the pot every time.
So instead of $1,000 progressive jackpot, you would make it a 5,000 progressive jackpot.
Right.
It started at 10 and went up by 1 each time it wasn't 1. But you would say started at 10 and add 5 to it each time it's now 1.
Right.
Okay. Charles, pick a word game.
Boggle, the interactive game.
Obscure choice. What would you make different about it?
From instead of the points, the amount of points you would get within that round, you'd actually make a little bit of money offside. For example, 1,000 points would be like $100, and all that stuff.
Okay, so you would have a money system.
Yeah, and if I'm person who wins the entire round, they get a nice prize to go along with it.
Okay.
There's one thing I would change to that as well.
Go ahead, Scott.
Get rid of that. You know how like they played on the telephone keypad and everything?
Right.
Yeah.
Make it like a traditional boggle board, where I think it's like 4x4.
Right.
Yeah.
So round 1, and all 4 players play throughout the game, so no one gets eliminated. Round 1, you play on the 4x4. Round 2, there used to be different versions of bogglers. So you would have the normal version, then you would have like the medium-sized version, and then you would have the bigger version. So round 1, you play on a 4x4 grid. Round 2, you play on a 5x5 grid.
But
Round
it couldn't
3,
get any higher. It can't get any higher. You only have 26 letters in the alphabet.
yes, but remember, some of those can also repeat as well too.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm taking in repeats as well too.
Okay.
And
Or
then you play on a 6x6 grid.
What was the grid on the telephone keypad? What grid was that?
It was a
3
3x4 configuration.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would follow standard all the different versions of Boggle. So you would have the 4x4, 5x5, and 6x6 grids.
Now,
And-
seeing that we're talking about interactive aspects of games here.
Well, hold on. And then for the bonus round, you got to make it a little harder for the bonus round. I would include a bonus round. And on the bonus round, you're playing on an 8x8 grid, and you have to make 10 words in 60 seconds to win the money. $100 per word.
How long would your word
And
have
then
to
you-
be?
I would say for the bonus round, they would have to be a minimum of 4 letters.
Gotcha.
I'd say a 5-letter word.
If you can make a 5-letter word in the in round 1, 2, or 3, depending on the letter on a 4, 5, 6 plus. So after 6, when you get to 7, 8 plus letter words, you get a bonus to your score for those words, for the letters.
And how much would the bonus be worth?
50 for 4, 100 for 5, 6 would be 200 and above. So from 6 higher, 200.
Okay. Now,
And then you double that in round 2, you triple that in round 3.
now, seeing that we talked about that we've been talking about interactive shows, let's talk about one show that tried to get interactive from the 1980s, and it's from Bob Stort's son, Sandy Stort. Your Number's Up.
Was that the one hosted by the Poet Line of Television?
Yep. It was hosted by him.
And
Nipsey.
For-
Nipsey.
yeah,
Yep,
and
Nipsey
for all
Russell.
people out there who don't know who we're talking about the great Nipsey Russell.
Oh my God, I
Now-
love Nipsey.
Now, Scott, have you seen Your Number's Up? So
Yes.
you know what I...
Yes.
Okay, then. What would you do different there? I mean, there's a lot of it worked, and yet it didn't. What would you have done different?
The way the numbers were chosen,
Okay, how would you have done it?
instead of having that wheel that you had down at the bottom of the set,
Right,
Right.
randomizer.
randomize it. Okay,
Right? So those numbers are flashing for all three. So you have all. So you would have player one, player two, player three, and of course, only two people get to play. So you
you
would
would slam a buzzer or something on your
right
console to
on your
stop
phone,
the randomizer.
right, and then also that randomizer shows who plays in the question as well.
Okay. Now,
So if we have like red with the number 3, blue with the number 7, green with the number 9, those numbers are in play, but who is going to play? Who plays for that? Who's involved in the question is another randomizer on top that's also determined when you hit that plunger.
gotcha. I see what you're saying.
And the
Ah,
car is also, I think the car was also available in that round too.
Yes, it was, and you could, and that was attached to whoever the car landed on. So you could put the car in the randomizer too, and when you slam the buzzer, if the car stopped on a player, that player could play for the car.
Right. And still, the audience members would still be involved to come up and be up on stage. Also, it would be $100 per correct answer, not the first to get number of questions right.
All right, then what would you set the goal to be then?
$1,000.
$1,000 would be the goal.
$1,000. And if you got it, and if you got a member of the contestant of the studio audience up there on stage to play with you, you both split the money, and they help you out in the bonus round.
Gotcha. All right, then.
You get a little.
What would you? One thing. Let's pick one thing. One thing you would do different about your numbers up, if you know about the show. I don't think he's there.
Chuck?
Charles, you there?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's not there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Scott, we could spin. Now, I'm going to pick one. Obviously, the next choice is a logical one. And I've saved these two producers for last. Pick a Bob Stewart show.
a Bob Stewart show.
Chain reaction.
All right, then, Scott, you've picked Chain Reaction. What would you do different?
I would get rid of the Go format bonus round.
All right, then we're talking about the Bill Cullen era because obviously that didn't exist in the Jeff Edwards era.
Right. But I would follow the Jeff Edwards era version of the bonus game, the one that you told me about.
Right.
I would follow that. But just like with everything else, it would be a progressive jackpot in everything.
Well,
A progressive jackpot, how much?
Started off at
Well,
5,000, and because of the error for the show, have it increase $1,000 per time it's not won.
well, that's what it was in the Jeff Edwards era. Only it started at 3,000 and went up 1,000. It wasn't one.
I would start it at 5 and rank and go up.
Okay.
I think 3,000 because it was filmed up in Canada. We're talking,
Yeah.
we're talking. I think $3,000 Canadian is equal to $5,000 US.
At the time, it was.
Yeah, so they scaled it. They scaled it properly for that.
Okay.
you know anything about the Bob Stewart show except for Chain Reaction. But I think one show that should have never been aired was the kids' version of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, Wheel of 2000 and Jep. Ugh.
All right. Another subject for another time.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. But you don't know. How could you not know many Bob Stewart shows? I mean, he created quite a few.
I barely know a few of them, but the one I like is Chain Reaction. I stick with them, Scott idea.
All right, then you stick with Scott's idea. All right, then.
Sorry,
And
I'm sorry. Sorry about that, David.
It's okay.
Sorry about
And
that, David.
obviously, the last producer, I saved him for last. Mark Goodson. Scott, pick on Mark Goodson.
Oh my God.
Too many to pick.
And let's
I'm going to have to abstain from
You
that.
made them.
Actually, no. The 80s version of Now You See It.
The 80s version of Now You See It with Chuck Henry.
Right. I would follow more of the NARS version with that.
Okay.
I'll drink to that.
I would follow the Jack NARS version.
Okay.
The nighttime Price is Right. 94.
He had nothing to
They
do
could like
with
the. Oh.
It's like
Seriously, Mark Goodson had nothing to do with it. Mark Goodson was already dead.
they just had his name on the show because
The 94 version was Jay Wolpert.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
They brought him back to do that.
Is that why the show tanked?
No, the show tanked because it was during. You got to realize what was going on in 1994.
It was bad.
What was the two major events going on in 1994 in the U.S.?
The Clinton scandal?
No. You had the World Cup, the 1994 World Cup, and you had the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh,
All of those two things alone preempted channels left and right. No game show had a chance.
right.
Even
And especially if it was a new game show too.
Right.
But wasn't that the same thing that happened originally with the $10,000 pyramid?
Yeah. The
classic era.
Watergate scandal is really what damaged the $10,000 pyramid on CBS.
Which is then I think ABC picked it up.
Yep. And it was because of ABC is why we still talk about Pyramid today.
And the funny thing about it is, Pyramid's back on the chat, back home on ABC.
Yeah.
You're right.
On the network that
And
made
it's
it
better
possible.
than that GSN reboot.
Renewed for a third season.
Yeah. And renewed for a third season. They'll air this summer.
What else from the summer fun got renewed?
All of it did. It all
Nice.
got renewed.
What?
It all got renewed.
So that
The second series. Oh.
yeah,
Gong Show,
Oh.
Tournament, and Match Game, it all got renewed.
what about Celebrity Family Feud?
It got renewed too. It all got renewed, every bit of it.
Battle of the Network Stars back for another series.
Now that I don't know about.
But Gong Show, oh god, cringe alert.
Another time.
Well, the thing with the Gong Show, we always knew that show was tasteless anyhow.
Yeah. All right.
Even with my boy Mike Myers as host, I love Mike Myers though.
All right. In closing, because we've got about 5 minutes left. Scott, pick your favorite show, and what would you change?
My favorite show. Okay, now this is going to Nickelodeon. We're going to Nick for this one.
Okay.
Finders Keepers.
Oh, a good one.
Actually,
What
I'm a
would
little
you
bit of a
change?
cross. Finders Keepers and Think Fast.
Okay.
I'm a little cross between both of them, and I'll explain why. I liked both. I like the idea of getting gacked and having to use your brain for at least think fast and everything. You got gacked, and yet you still had to know stuff as well. I would change if I had to do one thing. I would fix the bonus gate, the locker room, for Think Fast.
Okay.
Here's what I would do, and then I'll explain about the other one that I picked too. For the bonus gate, instead of having both teammates there, you have the one player do his 30 seconds while the other player is off in a soundproof room, not knowing what happened.
Okay. Now haven't seen Think Fast, so I don't know what the bonus round that Think Fast entails.
Think of the car game from Classic Concentration.
Okay.
That's basically it. 15 lockers, 7 of them match. One was either, depending on the version, one was either a time bomb or a red herring.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Now, for the other one, Finders Keepers, I would add in there the last room in each of the rounds when you search the rooms. Have like a mini one of those rooms. Have more of like the secret room. Have a secret room in round 1. Have a secret room in round 2.
And whoever searches it has the chance to win a prize.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna pick. Now you pick a Nickelodeon show. I'm gonna pick a Nickelodeon show. And many people say if this show ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I'm not gonna fix it. I'm just going to improve one thing.
Can I take a guess at what show you're thinking of?
Go ahead.
Double Dare.
Yep. Double Dare. This show ain't broke. Don't fix it. But
Right.
here's what I would do. Here's how I would improve it. I would add, all. Yeah. During the Family Double Dare days on Fox, one obstacle was a jackpot obstacle.
Right. I remember that.
It had a cash jackpot attached to it.
Right.
I would have brought that back to the Nickelodeon version of Family Double Dare.
Ooh, interesting.
I
For
would have
me,
started
with
the
Double
jackpot
Dare,
obstacle on Fox it started at 3,000, and I forget how much they add to it. But I would have started the jackpot obstacle at 5,000.
it was 500.
How much to it?
I think it was at 100 that it went up.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm assuming.
I would make the jackpot obstacle the 8th and the final obstacle.
So attached to the. Tell them what they could win, Harvey, including the cash jackpot.
Right.
One thing I would change: get rid of that Triple Dare challenge.
All right, that's from Double Dare 2000.
If we're playing by Family Double Dare rules, we don't need a Triple Dare challenge. It's fine where it is.
It slowed the game down too much.
Right.
And there's Charles. All right, Charles, you got a few minutes left.
Phone did.
Charles, you broke up there, buddy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. All right, then. Charles, pick your favorite show, and what would you change about it?
Double Dare. Get rid of the shoulder challenge and put more physical challenges on the show. Jesus, for Christ's sake.
Scott just said that. Scott
Yes.
just said that.
He read my mind.
Yeah. Folks,
Maybe,
this has been
maybe we should be on mind readers.
literally spend another episode
Yeah.
talking about this, and we could spend another hour. But we're running
You
out
know,
of time.
that would be a good topic for another show, the game shows of Nickelodeon.
Actually, we'll do that. We will do that.
Love that. Love it.
We'll do that
So
for
we'll-
a future show.
So we will talk about Think Fast, Get the Picture, Make the Grade, Legends, Guts.
Double Dare 86.
Including Brain Surge, which was Nickelodeon.
Oh, God.
game show.
Don't get me started on Brain Surge. That show sucked.
Save it for next month, because that will be our next subject, the games of Nickelodeon.
All right, I will pass that on to a certain somebody and see what they think about it.
Okay.
And who's that?
Who else?
Our producer.
Yes.
Our silent producer, or which I know he's been watching. Hope you folks, it's been a great conversation. Hope you'll keep watching our Facebook channel, Lost Over Productions, for information on when our next broadcast is. Until then, I'm David Hammond for Scott and for Charles. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.